I just completed my 4th season of comp and I learned a lot from it. I'm gonna go over how it went and everything I learned to do better for next season. Starting off with stats, I went from 0 to 630 PR. I know this is bad, and if you're wondering how I went from gaining over 2k PR a season to this, the main reason is because I split with Leaf and there's no divisional cups. Leaf is a lot better than me and IGL'd me through Challengers Cups, which gave a lot of PR. This season, there were no divisional cups giving out that kind of PR, and I also had to IGL this season, which didn't start off too well. Before I started IGLing, I just followed Leaf and didn't pay any attention to where zones pulled, when zones pulled, nothing. I just looked to make plays until Leaf said it was time to go. So when it came time to lead myself, there was plenty of times where I died because I completely forgot about zone and had to force a late rotate.
The same. In my box.
Yeah.
When you go?
I'm dashing. I'm going.
You can miss. There you go. I'm gonna fuck. I'm gonna. Oh, I'm dead. No. I'm good. I'm going front. I just got. Get shocking out the air.
My communication was also really bad and I made it hard to understand what I was doing next because I wouldn't talk as much as I needed to. My tarps were also sloppy and made for a solo. I would leave gaps causing my teammate to get cut off or side jump to layer change, making it difficult to follow. Once I found my duel for this season, I was able to quickly learn and improve in scrims leading up to tournaments. In the first duel Cash Cup, I didn't know what to expect going into it, but the goal was to play as many endgames as possible. We had a couple of decent games, but also left a bunch of points on the table in some higher elo games. We also missed out on a bunch of elim points because I avoided keying to ensure we made endgame, which was a huge mistake. Next week, we had a similar performance endgame, but dumb mid-game mistakes cost us a lot of points. We had a week to figure out what needs to be fixed for our next tournament, which is FNCS. In week 1, we played some of our best endgames, but ran into a problem I had no experience leading in, which was high elo mid-games. We went down on 4 different occasions to bad mid-game rotates, which cost our qual. But I was confident if we could fix this issue, we would qual. In week 2, we made it to 7 out of 9 endgames, with the other 2 games being off spawn deaths, but the endgames weren't looking as good as last week. We had a 7th, 8th, and 11th, leaving a ton of points on the board. In our last hour, we were able to get a 2nd, but could only play out 1 more game, so we keyed and managed to get an extra 30 points, but now we have to win a stacked last game with some kills, which was my weakest point leading wise, and didn't go too well last week.
What's left? 60 white?
25 black.
Kids left.
I'm jumping on,
24 white, bro. 67, 24. What's that?
Alright, dead on 1.
Should have an SMG, man.
Dead. Nice.
Try those.
10.
Yeah.
Final left.
Dead. White. Yeah. I'm sorting into that. Come on, the other kid.
Okay.
Yeah, sword.
Nice.
Purple one as well, bro. Let's go. Like, so many mats. Holy. Oh, I did not mean to edit. Yeah, 1.
Okay. We're high.
Nice.
$118.
Yeah, I'm trying to look.
Alright, do you have pizza?
No.
Alright. I think you go down and fight.
Okay.
You gotta go now.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop 1 circle down. I'll pop 1 circle. Yeah, I'm trying to sword down.
It's not enough. We didn't have enough kills. But...
Dang, no. That was so close.
Only 6 points off of qual, which was as little as 3 more elims that game. While disappointed we didn't qual, I couldn't be mad at the improvement in our mid-game rotates. Even in the last game, we were well above Surge at certain points and turned what was a shambles game into a win. But the last week at FNCS went so bad I didn't even end up making a video on it. We were able to turn it around and got our best placement as a duo in the next Cash Cup, getting our good end games with more kills than before. Unfortunately, following this tourney, Turtle let me know that he was quitting the game. I was able to find a duo who IGLs from my friend group for the last few Cash Cups and next season, but after playing one Cash Cup and getting my worst duo placement ever, I got dropped. So going into next season, I'm unsure of who I'm going to duo with, but I'm happy with the progress I made IGLing and I'm confident in my ability to do better next season. Moving on to solos, one of my goals going into this season was to put full effort into Cash Cups because last season I didn't do anything to improve my performance for the next week. The format this season changed, making it top 7500 to make it the round 2 where you have 3 chances to win a game. I had no problem qualifying for round 2, but doing well in there was a struggle. In the first week, I landed too far frontside where everyone else was landing, and a kid found his way into my box when I had good enough loot to make it far into heal off and another box full of heals. This trend would follow for the next couple of weeks where I would have game-winning loot, but I would make a dumb mistake costing me a dive before making it to heal off. I made sure to VOD review and learn from my mistakes to see what pros did so I had a better chance in the next week. Having this information was good, but I had no place to practice or apply anything. NA scrims weren't running solos at the time, so I started to play EU scrims which ran consistent solos every day. This is where I started to get a much better understanding on where I needed to be looking for refreshes and how to properly layer later into the game. I got close a couple of times but couldn't win one this season. But with everything I learned this season and knowing I have access to consistent solo scrims, I'm confident I will continue to improve and do good in solos going forward. Another one of my goals this season was to see significant improvement in my aim. Aim is so important, and for the entirety of my comp career my aim has been below average. If I wanted to make steps towards going pro, I needed better aim. This season I've seen the most improvement in my aim than ever before. I've been grinding Kovacs but have also done a lot more in-game aim training. Just by playing the 100 rounds of headshot map for the video, I was able to form better aiming habits and it translated to real games right away. My shotgun aim has gotten pretty good, but my mid to long range tracking still needs work. The biggest thing for me to overcome in terms of aim is nerves. The shakiness of my aim that some of you love pointing out in the comments is due to nerves, not my sense or lack of aim training. As I get more experience in the higher pressure environments, my confidence will increase and my aim will get a lot less shaky. I'm going to continue to focus on my aim because as much as it's improved, it still isn't at the level it needs to be if I want to make it to the next level. Mechanics on the other hand weren't a huge priority for me this season. They weren't holding me back in any major way, so I didn't focus on them too much. After the duo Cash Cup where Turtle quit, I wasn't VODing or scrimming for duos, which opened up a lot more time for me to work on fighting and mechanics. I wasn't very consistent with my builds and would mess up edges I should never be messing up, so I took a week to focus on improving my mechanics and saw a great amount of progress there. I made a video covering my whole routine and progression if you want to check that out. Mechanics won't be a priority of mine going into next season, but I'll continue to improve them throughout the season. My game sense without a doubt has been the most improved part of my game this season. Between IGLing and grinding solos, I was able to learn and understand much more than previous seasons. I was VODing and scrimming a lot more and made sure I actually applied what I learned from VOD reviewing to my game. That's easily the most important thing I picked up from this season. I could VOD review and have all the information in the world, but if I'm not actively applying that to my game, there's no point in even VODing in the first place. The last of my 3 goals for this season was to get much better at fighting. In solos, I wasn't confident in my ability to W key, and in duels, I was a liability in fights more often than not. So going into this season, I wanted that to be a focus of mine. However, that changed when I decided I actually wanted to put more effort into trying to become a better IGL and do decent in duos. Originally, the idea was to place well in solos and work on becoming a more well-rounded player so I could find a duo for the next season and just play duos to get some more experience leading with a random teammate. But I was able to find a set duo, which obviously changed my priorities this season. My team fighting improved and I stopped making dumb plays like last season, but there was no extraordinary improvement. I can tell in creative I've gotten better at fighting, but in game it doesn't show at all. Between my lack of confidence and in-game practice, I don't see myself fighting nearly as well in game as I do in creative. My goals for next season are to become a more confident fighter in game, continue to improve my aim, and consistently upload throughout next season. I haven't been nearly as consistent as I should be with content this season, and I really want to focus on bringing you guys consistent quality videos this summer. Thanks to everyone who supported me over the past season, and I'm looking forward to bringing you better content next season. If you want to support me further, please consider using code HOWL when buying the battle pass or anything in the item shop. It helps out a lot. If you made it to the end of the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.